Hey. Hey, guess what?
What?
It's your birthday tomorrow.
Hey.
And on Can I Just Say One Thing podcast with Jess, me, and Demi.
Me.
We sing.
So, oh, no.
Happy birthday.
Don't make any babies cry.
I know. So I don't think we actually talked about that.
No, we didn't, and we should.
Yeah,
it's very important.
So Demi's birthday is tomorrow, 29.
Yay.
Yay. And when it was my birthday in March, and she sang to me.
Really gross.
But like Marilyn Monroe making fun of
it was just like,
birthday.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
My sister Natalie was listening to the podcast, and my not even 1-year-old niece started crying when Demi would sing it. And Natalie's like, "Oh, that's weird. I'm gonna like rewind that and see if she cries again." And she did. And she's like, "Okay, well maybe it's like an isolated incident. Like I'm gonna try later to see if she cries again."
She did.
She cried.
That is, I want to know why that happened.
I mean, maybe she just only likes my sister's voice and like her sister and
Singing
brother.
voice?
No, just voices, you know?
Oh.
I don't know.
But no, that can't be it, because she hears other voices.
I mean,
don't try and make me feel better. Please. Just let me be sad.
We are also coming back from Game of Thrones, which was yesterday, episode 4.
Yes, there are a lot of thoughts and feelings about last night.
Yeah.
But I think you and I are in agreement that we are not going to let
articles and other people's opinions,
theories and opinions and, you know, everybody's input kind of dictate our feelings.
Right.
Because when we watched it before reading everything else last night, I liked the episode.
Yeah.
I felt like it, I will say that I thought it was rushed.
Same.
I thought that they could have done better.
Right.
They could have done better at, I just feel like a lot of things went kind of unresolved. Like,
yes.
why did they have to, why couldn't we see Jon telling Sansa and Arya?
Truly, like, why can't we see more of their reaction?
Or Sansa telling Tyrion.
Yeah.
Or Tyrion's reaction.
Absolutely. I totally agree. There was definitely some things that they could have made that into a couple of episodes. Like, why do you have to do only 6 episodes?
I don't know. It's been bugging me because, like, I love the long episodes.
Oh, totally.
But I would also love long episodes plus 10 episodes. You know what I mean? Like, you could still have long battle scenes.
Yeah.
And also 10 episodes. I don't like that Jaime went to Cersei. I thought that was so lame. Like, it was such a left turn of the direction that he was going down.
Right.
He, like, went and he left Cersei because she was doing wrong. She was going berserk. And he saw that super clearly.
Yeah.
And then he heard something about her and was like, I better go.
Yeah.
It didn't make sense.
No.
It didn't align with his new persona.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, like, other than that, like, once I started reading some of the articles today, I was like, I just can't. Like, all these things I didn't, like, notice necessarily, you know? I'm just
what?
like, I mean, just everything, like, like, everybody's doing something different than what they, you know, were saying they were going to do. And it was a lot of stuff. And I actually just stopped midway through an article.
Yeah,
so I'm just like,
me too.
It was like people's reactions to the first episode. It was just a list of all of that.
Right.
And I was just like, no, because I already had my reaction. And I cried in that episode.
Yep.
And I was like freaking out on some parts. And I enjoyed my reactions to that.
I don't like when people say, like, when Rhaegal died, they're like, oh, like, that's how they're gonna do it. And it's like, I mean, it can't be a production for every death. Like,
totally. Yeah.
That's kind of how wars go. Like, they get ambushed. And, like, there are lots of, like, it's questionable, like, how did he know that? That's what Benny and I talked about today. Like, how did Euron know that they were going to Dragonstone? So he's theorizing that Varys is telling.
Maybe.
But the reason I don't like what Varys is doing right now is because I just don't like it. I didn't read anything.
Right.
I'm just like,
it seems shady. It doesn't seem like it's like, again, going and kind of, he was so for her.
Yeah.
And like one thing
one thing is
like wrong, where she's like, oh, but I meant to be on the throne, and he's like, oh wait, now she's
crazy.
She's crazy. It's like, the other thing the one thing I didn't like about the episode was how they didn't show how they captured Masandi. That's like what's rushed to me. That's what's rushed. It's like, how did they get her?
I know.
That doesn't make sense. Like, everybody's in the ocean, and now all of a sudden they got her.
They knew where she would be.
Yeah. So that's the only thing that I was really having a hard time with.
I will say, though, that when that whole scene of Grey Worm and Masandi holding hands, and then they pan up to Daenerys on the dragon smiling, I was like, this is too good.
Yeah.
This is too joyful. Something's
about to happen.
happening right now.
Yeah. And it did.
And it went off.
The next like little commercial blip for
Nothing.
the next
I got nothing.
It was nothing. Yeah.
It must be huge.
I mean, Emilia Clarke herself said episode 5 is
bigger
than anything.
That's a bold statement.
Yeah,
that's a huge really big
statement.
deal.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's actually true.
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know how it could get much bigger.
I don't either. Yeah.
Are you gonna be okay?
I don't know. Well, I was not prepared. Well, I was prepared for the Night King and Winterfell and all that happening.
And I don't know.
And I was like, I knew it was going to be a big episode, but because that already happened, and that's why my heart rate went up so high 5 times.
Yeah.
But because episode 5, I really don't know how it's going to go. I kind of in my head had a feeling about what was going to happen.
Right.
And it was going to be dark, and it was going to be like people peeking around places, and it was going to be very sneaky.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas with this one, I'm like, well, it's not like you're trying to capture a Night King. You're trying to kill Cersei, and you're on.
And
so
I feel like we're on such the losing team right now.
Yeah, for sure. And maybe we are.
Truly. Like,
yeah. I mean, some people are rooting for Cersei, so if she gets it,
Who is?
Psychopaths.
Shut up. No, they're not. No.
There was some of the stuff I was reading today. They're like, I really liked Cersei, blah, blah, blah. And like, it was just like, no, you can't actually like her. I've seen interviews where people are like, I respect Cersei. She does what she wants. She gets what she wants. And I'm like,
no,
she's psycho.
No,
it's like saying you like Ted Bundy. Nobody likes Ted Bundy.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but that is not a valid argument because she blatantly does. She even admitted to, who was that lady that was the shame lady? Yeah. She admitted to her that she gets pleasure from doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
That's not a good leader.
No. Are you kidding me?
No.
If she ends up on the Iron Throne, I will throw things. Yeah.
I will not be... I don't
have words.
I don't know what to think about that.
Yeah,
that's
not...
I
don't
that's
think
not
that
even
can,
a possibility
I don't think it's
to
gonna
me.
happen.
It could. It really could.
It could, but like if they did... I mean, people are going to be like, why did I waste all of these years watching this when it's just going to be her she was already on it to begin with?
Yep.
Like... But
I wonder if in the 6th episode it's going to be one of those things where it's like we get to like go fast forward in time.
Yeah, I wonder that too.
And see like how everyone's doing like 30 years later.
Yeah,
or something
I don't know.
That.
I have no idea what they're gonna do.
I don't know.
Anywho, so cheers. We're drinking water.
You guys, okay. Let's brag a little bit.
I mean, I haven't done anything yet.
You are. This is your start. I marked on my calendar that the day that I started the fitness program.
Which was on Wednesday, right? Or Tuesday?
Last Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Mm-hmm. I started. We're doing Alexia Clark. Is that how you say it, Alexia?
That's how I would say it, because it's IA.
Yeah. Alexia Clark. I've been following her on Instagram for about a year now. And I really admire her. Like, she is a beast. Mm-hmm. She's not trying to, not that there's anything wrong with the Kayla It Scenes workout, which is also really popular and I've tried, but it's not like bikini body, like get so slim and toned. Mm-hmm. Like we're getting muscles.
I want muscles.
Yeah. So getting muscles. And I've done it every day except for Saturday. I took the day off.
But you're also not supposed to do it 7 days a week.
No, exactly. Yeah. You're supposed to take a break. I wanted to, but then I was like, I should let my body rest a little bit. And then on Sunday, I only did like a 25-minute workout.
And you have to. It is crucial from all the freaking running I've done and like all of the lactic acid you build up, like you absolutely have to let your muscles rest. You know, we're not like superstars that have like, who can have dietitians and
I know
people like
You're right.
put protein back into our diet and all that. So, you know, that's good that you gave yourself that time.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, so Jess is starting today.
Yeah,
She got food poisoning last night.
I did. That's why I didn't.
That was terrible.
It was bad.
So terrible.
Yeah, it wasn't fun.
But you're starting after you leave.
After I leave.
So let's make it quick so you can get in there and kick some ass.
Oh, well, it'll be some type of kicking.
Someone's ass will be kicked.
And it will be mine. It'll be mine own ass.
Mine own.
So this week I picked the play No Exit by Jean-Paul Sartre. I can't say it still. And well, it's about, there's 4 characters in this play, but 3 of them are the main ones, and it's Garson. I don't know if it's supposed to be said differently.
Should we
in French?
Should
I'm not gonna keep going back to that because I won't remember how to pronounce it. I'll be like, what was it again? The valet, as somebody would in
the valet.
I know, but in English, because like Downton Abbey, they would say valet, but yeah.
Oh, they
valet.
do?
Yeah, in Downton Abbey they call it a valet.
Oh,
but we call it valet because that's French.
I thought that you thought his name was Valet.
No, okay. No, valet. Yep, valet, Garson, Inez, and Estelle. So
which I love that name so much.
It's nice, yeah. Estelle, Inez, and Garson. Spoiler alert, are dead.
They are dead. They are in hell.
Yes, they are in hell. The valet. Now I'm starting to do it because I'm thinking of Downton Abbey. The valet brings them to this room.
They hate it. There's no mirrors and there's no toothbrushes, and they're like, why isn't it here? And he's like, you're not going to need any of that here. Need it. There's no light fixtures, or they don't turn the light off.
Yes, the light is constantly on.
Because they don't sleep.
So basically, the reason why he wrote this, because I also was doing a little research on him today, he was like an existentialist. He was a philosopher, obviously a playwright, wrote books. He also won the Nobel Peace Prize, but didn't want it.
What?
And was trying to evade getting like the accolades for it.
Why didn't he want it?
Because he didn't want to be recognized for that. He's like, I don't want to just be somebody
a celebrity
that and like I want people to really think about my work, and I don't want to just be some random another just another thing that people just study. I want people to think about it.
That's cool.
Yeah, so he's definitely, and he also had like a 41-year relationship with Simone de Beauvoir. So she was a feminist, and she was also like thought outside of the box, and it was in like, they were both born in like 1905, so they were like very progressive. They had an open relationship, and she had other boyfriends and stuff like that, and it's just
that's literally unheard of.
Exactly.
Back then.
And this play, No Exit, was written in 1944, so World War II was still happening, and Jean-Paul was at one point in the war, got captured, and then he was released a year after his capture. And he wrote this, part of this, the reason why I wrote this was kind of like a fuck you to the Germans.
Oh.
So, because it was thought of as, Paris was thought of as this like thing that you couldn't really escape. And it was like a way. Like,
why?
Because it was occupied by Germans. Because Paris was occupied by Germans.
Okay, I see.
So it was like something that you couldn't necessarily escape, even though it didn't seem like the worst place necessarily. So we'll get to like one of his famous lines in here, and like I'll talk about why it's kind of like a big fuck you to them. And yeah, we'll go from there.
Ugh,
so
I love. Okay,
tell me everything.
I don't know how to say it properly. I love World War II. I love the history of World War II is so fascinating.
Yeah,
I feel like I need to learn more about other wars. I love the Civil War.
Sure.
I love American history, but like World War II, because
it doesn't make sense too.
It's mind blowing. Yeah. It's so confusing,
and there's so many layers.
Yes.
You know?
Ooh, great.
Layers.
So
like
much.
an onion in Shrek. No.
Yes. Every time I hear layers, I think of Shrek.
Yeah, always. I think of it too because like I think about how it did a lot of things, not just with, you know, Nazis, you know, and Jewish people. Like internment camps in the United States were created because of World War II. Like Americans didn't do great things either. No. You know what I mean? Because they were afraid of other people, people that didn't look like, you know, the standard American, which is like obviously very racist. But that's why World War II is so fascinating, because it lasted a long time. 1939 to 1945. That's a long time to have a world war. And although America didn't get into it until later on, but at the same time, like it's something that we will forever, for the rest of the world's history, talk about it. So, and it shows up in literature, which is interesting because, like, with No Exit, Germans didn't realize, even though it was, like, written before the war ended, Germans didn't realize that it was, like kind of controversial, so they let it could be read. It wasn't, like, taken away. You know what I mean?
So it's, like, very subliminal.
Yeah, but, like... But it talks about, like, lesbianism is in here, and, you know, it talks about killing babies and, you know, all these things. And
they were just like, fine.
Well, I guess, sure. At least in Paris. I don't know if it's anywhere else, but...
That's crazy.
So we meet Garson first. He comes into the room and is like, oh, this room's kind of weird. You know, why
He's, like, complaining about the couches.
Yeah, and then he's the one that wants his toothbrush, and there are no mirrors and all that stuff. So while he's kind of talking to the valet...
Oh, I did have a question. I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
Were you in high school when you read this?
Yeah, I was a senior in high school.
Okay.
And I think the reason why it's something that maybe stuck with me is I'm very fascinated with people's idea of hell. Oh. You know, and, like, the concept of, you know, religion, and whether it's not, even though it seems like Jean-Paul...
What about, like, heaven and hell?
Yeah, but I think hell kind of fascinates me, too, because I grew up not believing in hell. Right. Because the religion doesn't believe in hell. Oh. They don't believe in hell.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It's just like you die and never wake up. It. Yeah. And then you can be resurrected later if you're, like, a good person in the religion. So, yeah.
Okay.
So hell really fascinates me. Okay. And the idea, because a lot of people think hell is like somewhere you go to be tortured. Right. You know, and even in this play, they talk about, like, oh, where are the hot pokers.
And the torturer.
Yeah. And all of this stuff. And it's like.
Torture chamber.
No. Not what you think it is. So slowly, the next person to arrive is Inez, and you meet her. She doesn't seem to quite like Garson. Kind of irritated with him.
She's like, your mouth. She's just nitpicking him. Your mouth is twitching. You keep doing it. Yeah,
which I thought was so interesting, because at one point, who says it? It might not be till Estelle arrives, and then they have somebody else. Estelle arrives, and she's seems to be kind of diva. Yeah. Like, to the max. Yeah. It's she's very interesting. I even wrote on the notes here, I'm like, I can't stand her. I can't stand her. She's so irritating. Inez at one point later on says, for instance, he made a noise when he was drinking, a sort of gargle. And I was like, that's like me with misophonia, because I hate noises. And I was like, I'd be so insane if that was my hell.
They said something, I think, before that, where they were like, it's kind of funny that I was expecting to see relatives or friends, and it's weird that they would pair us. And that would be my hell, too. Strangers. So the whole point of this, besides, like, not being able to escape from people that you're around, is that hell is other people. So, which is, like, I mean, again, like you just said, like, that would be my hell. It would be so true. It'd be people that I obviously wouldn't have been friends with in my life before, for a
and
reason.
Being stuck with them. So throughout this, you kind of wonder why they're even in their hell to begin with. Right. You know, Estelle dies of pneumonia. Inez dies because her lover, a female lover, turns on the gas stove. And kills them both. And then Garson was shot 12 times.
12 times, yeah.
At one point, it says, like, at the very, very, very beginning, it talks about, oh, no one ever sleeps. There's no bed. That's why there's no beds. And I was like, not being able to sleep
is hell. Like, that's all. Hell. You don't even need to put me in a room with strangers. Like, I'm already in hell. And I can't brush my teeth. I don't care if it doesn't matter. Like, I
need the routine of it.
I need routine.
And also sleep, though. Like, I want to be able to...
Mostly sleep, yeah.
But mostly sleep. So Inez and Garson are already bothered by each other. Mm-hmm. And so we come to find out they kind of are Inez is like, not Inez. Estelle is like, I don't know why I'm here.
Right.
I have no idea why I'm here.
And I feel like Garson and Estelle think that Inez knows something that they don't.
Yeah, but she doesn't.
She doesn't, they keep saying, like, in the beginning at least, they're saying, like, I know nothing about it. Or, no, that's what she said. She says, why are we together? You've given us quite enough hints. You may as well come out with it. And she says, I know nothing, absolutely nothing. I'm as much in the dark as you are. Mm-hmm.
But Inez, I feel, has more of a understanding. Like, so we come to find out that Inez murdered her lover's husband. And that's when, her lover was like, okay, I can't do this. We did something bad. So they kill each other, or she puts on the stove. And when she arrives, Inez is like, oh, this is weird. She's not here. I guess that's like, they just separate you when you arrive, because obviously you're not going to be rewarded in hell to be with your lover. And, which I thought was interesting, and why, like, she's not in hell because she's lesbian. Mm-hmm. She's in hell because she murdered somebody, which is very interesting to me.
That's very progressive.
And it's very progressive in 1944. Mm-hmm. But also, I mean, just knowing who he is now, it's like, oh yeah, well, he was in open relationships and, and all that. And makes sense that he didn't obviously make a big deal out about it. And then Estelle's having the hardest time. She's like, I just don't get why I'm here. I don't understand. I was a good person. Maybe it's a mistake. And both her and Garson think that. And finally, they get it out of her that she was having an affair with a cousin's husband. Mm-hmm. She gets pregnant, has the baby illegitimately. She goes to Switzerland and has it. And she drowns her own baby.
Cool.
Which you deserve to be there
100%.
So bad.
But it makes sense that someone as, like, egotistical as her would be like, I can't understand.
Sociopath.
Like, why would I ever be
I don't
at a place like this?
Yeah, so crazy. And then Garson, he was just super horrible to his wife. Mm-hmm. His wife was very devoted to him.
And he even talked shit about her, like, why is she still, like, in the very beginning when she's like, look at her eyes, or, like, why is she crying, blah, blah, blah.
Making fun of her.
Yeah, about, like, no, not even making fun of her, like, kind of, like, irritated that she would be mourning him is what it seems like.
It's just so rude.
Yeah.
Like, I don't. So, yes, cheats on her all the time. Mm-hmm. And, like, honestly, like, although I don't agree with cheating necessarily,
I don't think it should send you to hell.
That's what I'm thinking, too, which is funny because he has an open relationship in real life, Jean-Paul. Huh. So, cheats on her, but is he actually abusive to her? I feel I mean, he was the deserter of the war, too, which is something I'm like, that doesn't seem... Just because it's not noble or whatever.
That seems very, like, earthly.
Yeah,
you know
exactly,
what I mean? Like,
yeah. Well, it says, I put, night after night I would come home blind drunk, stinking of wine and women. She'd set up for me, of course, but she never cried, never uttered a word of reproach. Only her eyes spoke. Big, tragic eyes. I don't regret anything. I must pay the price, but I shan't whine. It's snowing. So he's, like, able to see they're all able to kind of see what's happening in the world if they're still being, like, thought about. If they're only being thought about. But once people stop thinking about them, they kind of disappear. They can't see what's happening in the world. Inez says, almost silently, why did you hurt her like that? And Garson says, it was so easy.
Ew.
So maybe he's just an actual person.
That is a creepy thing to say.
A word was enough to make her flinch, like a sensitive plant, but never reproach. I'm fond of teasing. Well, I'm like, it sounds like you were kind of being emotionally abusive, actually, so you do get to go. You get to go, I guess. So Inez starts becoming obsessed with Estelle. Estelle is frantic because there's no mirror down there. She wants to apply lipstick. And she's like, well, what am I going to use? So vain. What am I going to use to apply this? And Inez is like, oh, just, here, let me help you. I'll look at me and I'll help you tell you where it is. And then Inez is just like, oh my gosh, basically you're so beautiful, oh, blah, 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 blah. And Estelle gets freaked out by it because she's never been aggressively sought after.
By a woman.
And she kind of Estelle like runs to Garson, is like, oh, you know, I like you, I want to be with you and all that stuff. And Garson's kind of into it, but he wants to like feel like good in his thought that he did flee the war. So he's telling Estelle like, tell me I wasn't a coward. He's all about being a coward and like, oh, was I not being a man or something? Like, so what?
No.
He fled. Yeah.
Well, that could also be applied to you beating your wife, but like, whatever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Estelle's like, oh, I don't care if you fled or not. And he's like, that's not what I'm asking, you know? And it's basically just to get his attention. It's all very like toxic people around
being toxic
each other.
to each other. Yeah.
Exactly. And just kind of just being evil to each other. And it's just showing that hell is other people.
So it's just like, okay, well, what is the point of hell? Like, do you go and you learn about all the mistakes that you made in life and you get to learn from them, or are you just
for the rest of eternity and you can't change it? Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it's suffering. I think in this, with the way that he's depicted it, I think it's suffering with other people that you despise. Like, it's your most, you know, they can't escape. They can't leave the room. At one part in the play, the door opens because he wants to leave. He wants to run out. And they're not supposed to be able to leave. And when the door opens, he's just like, he turns to Inez, which is really weird. And he's like, Inez, tell me I'm not a coward. And she's like, well, you need to prove it to me. So he doesn't leave. He doesn't exit the door because he wants approval from somebody so bad, which is very part of existentialism and the whole Jean-Paul Sartre idea that so much of people's personalities and like you have to get approval by other people, which I think is kind of important. I feel like we've talked about that a lot lately in the last few weeks, just like me and you, like feeling like you shouldn't have to look outside to other people for that validation. Like, you create your own validation, which is so important. And that's why our girl Lizzo,
yes, girl,
Lizzo, you know, I feel like so much more self-love since listening to her and her CD.
Oh my God. Yay. That makes me so
isn't that the
happy.
best? I know.
That just made me so happy to hear you say that. Good. Because you should love yourself, and you should.
So much.
You should.
But that's why, like, when I was reading this, I was like, oh my gosh, it's so interesting to, like, see. I mean, it's such a human quality to look outside and be like, what do they think of me? I have to be validated by them.
It's just a short-sighted thing, too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
What is the point?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Yeah.
There are so many things that you can apply that to, though. Yeah. Like, what is the point of worrying about that?
There isn't one.
There isn't. There's so many things.
And when death does come for us, like, what are we going to be thinking about?
My coworker, talking about death, my coworker just told me today about her aunt that passed away last year. And her aunt was a nurse, healthy, whatever, and had kidney cancer. And they removed most of it, and they had like the tiniest amount, and they did they did like an ultrasound or something. Like, there's a small like part of it still there. We can do chemo, and you'll start in 2 weeks. She
I'm not ready for this.
Got chemo. Oh no, I'm so sorry. No, she did not. She had a stomach ache the week after they had told her this, and she had to go to the emergency room. They kept her overnight, and they did another ultrasound, and they said, my coworker didn't know what it was called, but they said it was like a shower head of blood throughout her entire intestines.
This is raining inside of her.
Just pockets of blood opening up, and
oh my God.
She died in a week.
That's
and she
horrible.
Was supposed to be fine. So you just don't know.
You don't know.
Make it count, people.
Make it count. Don't look to other people for validation. That's for sure.
You don't need it. It's so pointless.
So speaking of that, like, Instagram kind of wants to roll out. They're trying it, I think, on like a small population right now, getting rid of how many likes you have when you go look at it immediately. Like, you can go and find them if you want to, but like, you won't see how many people have liked your stuff, and they want to see if people start having better mental health.
I'll do it.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. For sure. It's just like, it's crazy how it's like so much is rooted in that, you know? I mean, I'm definitely guilty of that for sure.
There's actually such pros and cons to Instagram, though. I will say, like, I'm serious. I found recipes and motivational people and this workout thing that I'm doing now. I found really great things, and I found really horrible things. Yeah. You know, it's
horrible people for sure.
And horrible people, 100%. And I went to high school with all of them. Just kidding.
I'll read about you in the notes. Don't think I won't. Oh, speaking, going back to Lizzo real quick, because let's talk about her.
Yes.
Sam told me the other day, your sister-in-law, she's like, so I started listening to her because I keep seeing you post about her, and she's like, and I love her. And I was like, yes. Gladys from high school, my friend from high school, she posted a picture today, and it was like, oh my gosh, she's so great, and she like tagged me in it, and then she's like, I love her so much, and I was like, yes. Yeah. Converting people, doing it.
To happiness and joy and self-love. And self-respect.
And like, not caring.
And what you deserve as a person.
Yep.
Not even as a woman. No. Or whatever. What you deserve as a person, as a human being, right now. Listen to Lizzo. Get your head right.
Get it done. Like, truly. Like, I put a post where it's like, in a bad mood? Lizzo. In a great mood? Lizzo. You know, you want, to feel self-love or practice self-love? Yep. If you want to go to sleep? Yep. Want to go to sleep? Probably not Lizzo. But like, turn it on. But still do it. So listen.
You can turn on lingerie and fall asleep.
And like Jerome,
Yeah.
Jerome. So good. So anyway, the only other thing.
Back to hell.
Back to hell. The whole hell is other people. So at the very end of it, they even like say hell is other people, which obviously is like a big thing in this. And so it was, not only was it a dig at the Germans, like I said before, they used to call Germans the others when like French people would call them that. So that way, like, if you knew what they were talking about, what it meant. And so that line, hell is other people, I can't say it in French. But
why?
I did look it up and I was like, okay, French, can you say it how it's spelled, please? Because then it would be, then for zest, les, tres. Yep. That was so, but yeah, so it's saying like, I'll have to take a picture of all my little notes. But so it's saying the others right there. And then if you read this at the end, it says the others. So hell is other people. And it's saying like hell is the Germans.
I mean.
In World War II, yes.
Yes.
Let's see, Nazi Germans.
Yes.
And Nazi supporters. Yeah. Not the Germans that were trying to help people evade the Nazis. But it was very specific because they're in France. They're in France, and if Germany's over there, that means that they're Nazis. So, because they were occupying it. What else? Co-founded. I did some like little research on him, but I don't want to talk about him anymore. The one thing I do want to talk about is that, have you seen The Good Place?
Yeah.
With Kristen Bell.
I haven't finished it. We're only on season 1.
So it's great. Finish it. You haven't finished season 1?
No.
Damn.
Did they go to hell? Does she go to hell?
I can't. I'm gonna ruin it for you. But that was such a, damn it.
Dang it.
Because that's.
Do you want me to plug my ears?
Kind of. But you're gonna listen to it.
Wait.
But like,
just say it. I don't care.
Are you sure?
Yes, I don't mind spoilers.
Okay. Well, So the showrunner, Mike Schur, who like writes it and developed it and whatever, The Good Place is based off of No Exit.
No way.
Yeah, it's like his idea of what it was supposed to be.
Oh, that's so cool.
I'm trying not to give anything away. But,
okay.
Watch it. It's so good. It's such a good show. Okay. I didn't get to watch the first 2 seasons. Like, I watched the first 2, but the 3rd season had already started because I was a little late to the game. And I wish I would have finished it earlier because then I would have been able to start the 3rd season as it's currently playing. But now it's not on demand, so I have to wait for it to come out on Netflix.
Shoot.
So that way I can watch it all.
Okay, yeah. But 2 seasons are on Netflix?
2 seasons are on Netflix. Highly recommend. It's very good, and it also makes you think about yourself and reflect.
I love it.
Yeah.
How
bad of a person are you?
I mean,
you know?
Probably pretty bad.
No, that's not true.
Yeah. Who knows?
But yeah, so that's
we'll
that.
figure out at the end.
We'll figure it out.
I think we should do like advice today.
Ooh,
do you want to do that? We haven't done it in a while.
That's very true. So we're going to talk about the one that you want to do.
Oh yeah. So, the reading that I want to do next week is called "The Yellow Wallpaper," and it's by Yellow Wallpaper by Charlotte Perkins Gilman.
Ooh, a lady.
Yeah. Do you want a summary?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. I don't want to like give anything away. The Yellow Wallpaper is a short story by American writer Charlotte Perkins Gilman, first published January 1892 in the New England Magazine. It is regarded as an important early work of American feminist literature due to its illustration of the attitudes toward mental and physical health of women in the 19th century.
Nice.
It's when I read it in college, and it was very disturbing to me.
Really?
Very. It messed with me for like a semester.
Yeah.
I was very bothered reading it. And I because I was like, it could mean this. It could be exactly what she's saying, or it could be what I'm thinking, and what I was thinking was correct. Unfortunately, I didn't want to be right.
Yeah.
But it's creepy crawly.
Eee. Good. Okay. Awesome. So that's what we're doing. And okay, so we're going to do advice this time. Okay.
Do you want me to ask you? Because I feel like
no, because I feel like this is something that it's going to floor you when I read it.
Oh, no.
Okay. So this is, what does their text mean?
Okay.
My boyfriend texted me and said he hates me and wished I was dead. What does this mean? It means that you need a breakup.
You're in an abusive relationship.
Yeah.
Or it was somebody playing a really terrible joke.
Horrible joke that's not funny at all.
Yeah, that's not...
It's just, no matter what the issue is, like, if that's somebody that thinks that's funny, like...
Questionable.
Question the friend.
Questionable behavior.
But if it is your boyfriend, make sure that you're
Call him on the phone.
Yeah, and make sure you're in a safe situation.
Don't respond.
I mean? Yeah.
Reflect on the relationship.
Have you been fighting lately? Have, again, safety's first. Are you in a place where if you have been fighting, are you at a safe enough distance to, make sure.
You know what? And also make sure you're letting other people know that you got that.
Yeah.
Save it.
Yeah, exactly.
But
yes, you definitely don't confront him via text. You need to... What was the reason behind that text? You probably should find out. And if it was in a very hurtful and abusive way, I hope that you are able to leave that situation.
It sounds toxic.
It's very toxic. And again, you don't need, as we've kind of talked about a lot today, you don't need the validation of others for your self-worth. Although I know it's hard and it's something that everybody works on and tries to strive to get. But if he's telling you that, then you don't need that negativity in your life.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
My best friend's boyfriend. Let me think about that. My best friend.
So my best friend's boyfriend.
Doesn't want me dating his best friend.
Oh.
We met last year and hit it off and started texting. Best friend's boyfriend said we can't go out. Since then, we've texted every day in paragraphs, and I still like him. I think he does too, but I'm too scared to say anything. What do I do? You tell that friend's boyfriend to fuck off forever. What?
Yeah. How old are you?
Why is it? Yeah, that.
I think that's fine. Text him. If you're fine.
Yeah, you do whatever you want.
You don't let someone
who's not even involved in your life.
Yeah, dictate your relationship. That is so immature.
It makes me irritated that that's even a question.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
But I get it. But that's crazy to me that that would be the weirdest thing of oh, sorry, okay, I really like you, but I can't because my best friend's boyfriend, your best friend.
Sorry, that just sounds even more ridiculous.
Weird?
Put that way. Yeah, it was.
I guess it's
ridiculous.
Also kind of weird because it was your maybe boyfriend's best friend too.
Yeah, but I don't
know why he's making that rule.
Yeah, that seems very
harsh.
harsh, but also controlling and like, he's mine. He's like my property.
Ooh, yeah,
you know what I mean?
Might be in
like,
love with him.
you know, not even that. It's just like, why not have your friends get together? That's like my dream, having
I know
all these couple friends, and then, you know, we go to Bodega Bay and
Game of
stay the
Thrones
weekend
nights.
and Game of Thrones nights.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely Game of Thrones nights. But, you know, that's maybe even like have a conversation with that best friend's boyfriend and be like, what's your reason? Like, is there a reason? Do you not think we're good? I don't know.
Unless he's like, my best friend is a cheater and an asshole, and I don't want you to get hurt, then that's one thing.
That's way different.
Great. Thank you so much.
But
if it's just because I don't want you to, then bye.
Bye. Yeah.
Bye.
Go for it. For sure.
Yeah.
Well, that was
all
it.
right. Well, guys.
Yeah. Super quick. Happy birthday, Demi.
Thanks.
Yay. Well, you'll already be 29 by the time this airs. But
already my birthday.
Yeah. Already happened.
Thanks.
Yay. Do you want anything for this birthday? What do you want for 29?
I want it to go away because I don't like odd numbers.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Interesting.
I hate it.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I never knew that about you. Mm-hmm. Does it just seem like what about it do you think?
It's just uneven.
Yeah.
It makes me feel uneven.
But do you hate like multiples of 5 though?
Mm-mm.
So like if it was like 5, 15.
Yeah, no. That doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
No, just 9s.
Yeah. It's
know.
like right on the cusp of something too. It's
yeah.
Like very
I'm excited for 30.
Oh, totally.
I'm very excited.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 30.
The rest of my family's not excited for me to turn 30, but I
Why?
am. Because then it's like, oh my God, the baby of the family is getting older. And it's like,
oh yeah, let's make it all about you guys.
Yeah, pretty much. So,
yeah.
Anyway.
Anywho.
Yay. Well, thanks for listening.
Yellow wallpaper.
Yellow wallpaper. Email us at canijustsay1thing
@gmail.com.
The 1 is the number 1. And follow us on Instagram.
Instagram.
Can I just say one thing? Okay. I'm going to go work out now.
Yay. Go, girl. All right. Bye, guys.
Love always.
Love always up.